Everyone thinks the EJEAS V7 is the budget no-brainer for group rides, but here's the thing, don't buy it yet because the 7 devices headline hides a real limitation that could ruin your group chat. Stop. If you think this does open 7-way talk, it doesn't. It's a 2-way full duplex system where the host can choose one of up to 6 sub-devices to talk to, not everyone at once, and that matters. I put the V7 through 2 weeks of real rides, about 600 miles of commuting, highway, and a rainy weekend group run, and what I found was equal parts impressive and frustrating. The Amazon rating is 4.2, the price hovers around 49.99, but the truth sits in the fine print. Before we dive into what I discovered in those miles, if you're already leaning toward it and want the best current price, I've linked it below. But stick around because what I found will save you from buying the wrong tool for your kind of ride. I grabbed the V7 because I needed a simple, affordable comms setup for mixed riding. Weekday commuting, weekend group rides with 4 to 6 friends, and the occasional rainy day. My old unit died mid-season, and I wasn't ready to drop premium money on mesh intercoms. I've also been burned by budget headsets that promised huge range and all-day battery, then fizzled after lunch. So I came in skeptical but hopeful. 2 must-haves for me. Dual phone connection for work and personal calls, and a setup that wouldn't turn my group rides into a button-pressing circus. The V7's spec sheet looked promising. Bluetooth 5.1, CVC noise reduction, up to 1200 meters between 2 riders, up to 22 hours of music, IP65 waterproof, and that tempting 7-device pairing line. I thought maybe this is the unicorn budget-friendly, legit battery and usable group chat. First test, pairing and group use. Solo pairing to a phone took a minute. Pairing to a second phone was straightforward and dual connection actually worked. I could take work calls and still have my personal phone for nav and music. So far, so good. But then we tried group mode. We paired 5 V7 units, and here's where the marketing meets reality. Yes, you can pair up to 7, but only 2 can talk at the same time. The host has to select which sub-device to speak to. In practice, that meant the lead rider had to tap to switch between riders, and side conversations were basically off the table. Reconnecting after a fuel stop was mostly automatic, but the first-time pairing dance took us about 12 minutes and several retries. Once set, it stayed stable, but group banter, not happening. That might be fine for a leader giving directions, but not if you expected everyone to chat freely. Next, range and stability. On an open highway with line of sight, we got solid audio to around 700–900 meters before dropouts crept in. The spec says up to 1200 meters between 2 riders, that's best case. In town with traffic, buildings, and curves, we got 300–400 meters before the audio started to stutter. In tight canyon turns with rock walls and trees, it sometimes fell to 150–250 meters. When we were staggered at 60–75 mph, handoffs while switching targets as the host were manageable but not seamless. But here's where it gets interesting. Once connected, the link didn't yo-yo in and out. It generally held until we truly exceeded range, then came back quickly as we closed distance. Audio quality and noise reduction were better than I expected at this price. The CVC noise reduction kept voices intelligible at 60–70 mph with a full-face helmet. At 75–80 mph, wind intrusion picked up. You can hear your buddy, but you'll ask for repeats. The speakers are tuned for mids, podcasts and nav prompts are clear. Music is okay, but not bassy. At max volume, there's a hint of harshness, but it's usable. The mic handled phone calls decently. The 5-second auto answer is a genuine safety win, though it did pick up one spam call I wish it hadn't. Voice assistant triggers worked on both iOS and Android in my test. And yes, it can connect to 2 phones at once without flaking out. Battery and durability. The 850 mAh battery is no joke. I ran a full day with music plus intermittent intercom and still had juice around 18–20 hours in mixed use and about 14–16 hours with near constant talk. Charging back up took roughly a couple of hours. We rode in steady rain on one day. The IP65 claim held no water issues. The buttons are glove-friendly enough, but they're not as big or tactile as premium dials. With thick winter gloves, I had to double-check my presses. The clamp mount was stable at highway speeds. The speakers are a touch thick. If your helmet has shallow ear pockets, you might feel some pressure until you adjust placement. Here's the surprise I didn't expect to admit. The V7 is a fantastic value for two-up riding, leader-to-sweeper directions, and commuters who want solid call quality and battery life without spending big. It nails the essentials. Dual phone support, long battery, IP65, and reliable two-way intercom. And at around $49.99 with a 4.2-star crowd behind it, it's punching above its class. But the catch, and it's the make or break, is that 7 devices pairing doesn't equal 7 people chatting. It's not mesh. If your crew expects open, everyone can talk banter, this will frustrate you. In my testing hours, the V7 consistently performed within the real-world limits of classic Bluetooth intercoms. Best with 2 riders, good with a host directing chatter, not built for full group conversation. Let's be real. If you crave true group chat with seamless handoffs and dynamic relays, you're in premium mesh territory and you'll pay for it. If you're cool with the host choosing who to talk to, you'll love the battery, the clear mids, and the dependable connection once paired. Bottom line, it's not a bad product, it's a misunderstood one. Now that you know the real difference between pairing and actual group chat, if your use case is 2-up or leader-to-one rider, grab the V7 while the price is low. Links in the description for the best current deal. If you need full-on mesh, I've also listed my favorite upgrade options down there. Here's my verdict. Don't buy the EJEAS V7 if you expect open 7-way conversation, rich bass-heavy music, or glove-perfect controls like the premium dials. Do buy it if you ride 2-up, commute daily, or lead small rides where you talk to 1 rider at a time. For $49.99, the battery, dual phone support, and weather resistance make it a strong budget pick. The V7 is a great 2-person intercom hiding behind a 7-person headline. Know what it is, use it for what it's good at, and you won't be disappointed.